Tom DeFalco, Ron Friends, and my dog. All three of these people have something in common. They enjoy and love Peter Parker and Mary Jane being together. And when that comes together, they get married, which everyone loves. And one of the things that came from this marriage was Mayday Parker, aka Spider Girl, aka non-canon because Norman Osborn kidnapped her, aka a really, really good character. Spider Girl, made by Ron Frez and Tom DeFalco, started as a what if series. Marvel's attempt at making Elseworld stories, like what if Spider-Man was Tom Flash, for example. But the character was so popular that they ended up getting their own series with over 100 issues of stories to tell. And with that comes a lot of world building, which can help immerse a reader in the story and characters around them. And speaking of world building, the Earth that this takes place on, instead of 616, which is common for the current Peter Parker mainstream with like Zeb Wells, this is Earth 982. And this Earth is filled with legacy characters aplenty. Too many to count actually, but a few examples we have is Dark Devil, who is a legacy character of Ben Reilly, ergo being a son, and Dark Devil, and Daredevil, since they have a similar name. Felicia Hardy, Black Hat, and Flash Thompson's son, Felicity, who ends up being the Scarlet Spider, Franklin Richards, and Jack Jameson, who their last names can obviously give away who they're legacy characters of. Speaking of Richards, Fantastic Five and New Avengers are shown and obviously created for this series. Fantastic Five is with the Fantastic Four, but instead it has Franklin in it, and the New Avengers is completely different with people like Juggernaut, for example, Stinger, and amongst other characters. The only two remaining from the original are Iron Man and Captain America. Steve Rogers died, unfortunately, so he is not this version's of Captain America. And Iron Man is an android created by Tony Stark, so people could still have a hero to look out for. May interacting surrounds herself with these characters from the hero side and her personal side. With her personal side, she has a lot of friends and a supporting cast that's very well fleshed out and just an overall dynamic story with everyone involved. And as mentioned earlier, Peter and MJ, obviously being May's parents, are still around, as well as other 616 counterparts in here, and 90% of them are nothing like they were in 616. For example, Normie Osborn, the grandson of Norman Osborn, ends up being the Green Goblin, but after like 20 issues or so, he eventually resolves that and becomes good friends with May developing kind of a crush, but ends up going nowhere since the age gap is disturbingly high for May to having a crush. Kane, the other clone of Peter Parker that wasn't Ben Reilly, ends up being like one of the leaders of a government team, forgot the name. Peter and MJ themselves ended up having another kid named Benji. Not like Anime Parker, like in the Renew Your Vows series, unfortunately, but still, I like Benji. And from time to time, Peter will go back to being Spider-Man, but it's not really like consistent staying as of issue 80 that I've read so far. So all the characters are unique enough to the point where you can read it and still be surprised with what happens. And luckily, you'll be surprised in a very, very good and satisfying way. Characters are very fleshed out. As mentioned previously, they all feel real and like actual people that you can understand and get behind. Maybe Brad and Jack are a little too much, but other than that, all the characters are great. The art itself is really good and distinct for this universe since it's mainly drawn by Tom Friends. I believe I'm saying the name right. And his art style is very distinct, which helps it stand out, kind of like how Mark Bagley was the go-to artist for a lot of the Ultimate art drawings. And it's just an overall good break and just breather from where currently Wells is taking the Spider-Man character. But unfortunately it is limited. Not like a 5-issue limited. As I said in the first part of this video. It is over 100 issues, so it eventually did end, but Stan Slots with his Spider-Verse, he constantly brings her back, and it honestly brings a smile on my face just being able to see that, you know, she's still getting the recognition and love that she deserves, and it just gives us a chance to just ignore all the bad choices that editorial made on Peter Parker and just everything as of recently. So if you read it, if you watch this, want to read it, I strongly recommend it. But if not, go ahead and have a good day.